Afternoon all, and we're back yet again. So at the moment we've got the sump for cleaning. I've moved some of the sensors and bolts over to the new block. The oil pressure sensor's gone over. The NOx sensor's on the other side. I don't know if I can show you. That's on the other side. There, I put the bracket on the other side, ready to go on to hold. I'm assuming it's the crankshaft sensor, or the crankshaft speed sensor, should I call it, that to go on the other side. That's all done. Sorry about that little break there. It'd be a good idea if the phone was charged, wouldn't it, to record. It does help, doesn't it, having a fully charged battery, but we're back anyway. And as you can see, that block is now finished with. There's nothing else that I will need of that anymore. I do have ideas to take it all apart and make a table out of it because it's cream crackered. Yeah, you could probably save the block if you wanted to, rebore it out. Pistons are knackered. The crank, obviously, that's okay. Pistons are knackered, crank's okay. The rods will be okay, I would assume. If I can't even do it one hand a little bit. But yeah, you get the point. I think the rods will be okay, but I'm going to get them out and have a look at them. And if they are okay, I'll probably sell them rods. Because it kind of seems a bit stupid making a table out of forged rods, which they'll be okay. So maybe I'll sell them and get some standard ones off somebody else and then make a table out of it. But that's not now, is it? That's not important at this moment in time, is it? So anyway, at the moment I'm cleaning the sump. Obviously that's the I forgot what you call that, but basically it's to stop the oil splashing about. It's like a grid method, obviously, that it just stops the oil from sloshing and making the car unbalanced and on corners and stuff. Just slows the oil down. It'll come to me in a bit, I can't think what it's called. But yeah, that's nice and clean now, isn't it? There's a little filter in there, cleaned as well. That's obviously the feed. And then obviously you've got this little sensor, which I'm assuming is to tell me how much oil I've got left in the sump, like a depth gauge, which I was going to clean and put back in, but I have noticed when I pulled it out, if I can show you, somewhere there, sorry, bit hard looking through the camera and looking at the thing, but if you can see there, that's a bit of melted plastic. Which, I know it's on... Why is the phone not... Good phones, aren't they, these days? Anyway, you get the point. Bit of melted plastic there. So, I might get a new one of them for the sake of it. I know it's not going to be a problem if I do put it in the sump and it does pull a code up saying that it isn't working. I can just take the sump off, it's not a problem. But I'm here now, aren't I? So I might as well just get a new sensor. And... go from there, because if I'm doing all this, I might as well, hadn't I? It would seem stupid to not do it. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to show you, hopefully, after this little bit now, the state that was in before I started, because as you can see, I've made a hell of a mess with tissue paper and brake cleaner. And yeah, it was disgusting before this. It was disgusting. Which I'll show. And there you go. If I'd done it correctly, you would have seen the dirty version of that before this. So yeah, we're all good. I think at this moment in time, we're making steady progress. Yeah, at this moment in time, just waiting to order some sensors and gaskets, and then I can start building that. Obviously, my clutch and flywheel are over here, parts are over here, and it's all cooking on gas. Obviously, I don't really know what else I'm going to do now until, obviously, sensors and things arrive. I do need some sump sealant. Obviously, that sensor in there as well. The sump sealant, that can be put back in again. Then it can be put on there. Then once the sump's on there, I can put the water pump housing onto the new block. But after I get a new water pump. So I'm kind of just in a bit of a limbo at the moment where I'm waiting. I could probably take that apart and investigate more and maybe sell them rods, but this moment in time we've kind of come to a stop, so let's see how we get on. Little different scenery for you guys from the last video. I mean, for me it's been a few weeks, is it month, I don't know. Time goes so quick. But I have more parts, so that's a bonus. The new cams have arrived. The new springs and top hats, as I call them, have arrived. My new oil level sensors arrived there. And then the oil pump housing filter. What am I saying, eh? Gasket. That's arrived. So yes, that's the old head. I've got my tools all set up there. I'm going to start pulling that apart. And bits that I'm going to want to keep and clean, like these cam buckets, they're going in that tub with oil. Just so I can clean them and get all the grit and shit off them and clean them. Yeah, obviously I don't need them cams anymore. They're no good to me. I'm keeping these. So they're going to be going in there as well. And that's pretty much going to be for today. I'm going to obviously rebuild the sump, put the sensor back in the sump, the oil pump housing behind there, once bolting onto the block. I've got my silicone now, I can do that. So yeah, let's just see how we get on. I'm going to pull that apart first, get everything I need off that, and then we can start playing with the new head, which is up there, and then the block, and let's see how far we get, eh? I'm back again. I just wanted to do this little video because more progress. Both cams are off now. I've got the, you know what, them I can't remember. Sometimes I forget, sometimes I remember. It'll come to me in a bit and it'll annoy me. Them. Anyway, what I wanted to say was, there's not a lot to thank Vauxhall for, but some things I do think he had the brain in gear at some point. Like these studs here for the exhaust manifold. They give you so many opportunities to fuck it up. It's perfect. So you've got the normal socket that goes on to there. You've got the normal Torx that goes on the outside of there. And if you bugger both of them up, you've got an internal Torx there. And then to get the studs out, instead of actually putting two nuts on and then backing the second nut onto the first nut and take it off that way, they've just put your little Torx on the end. So all you got to do now is just get your nice little ratchet with your little bit of Torx on the end, stick it on there, and there you go. Obviously they weren't that easy. I had to just smack them with a hammer just to loosen all the rust. But yeah, that's, like I said, there's not a lot to thank Vauxhall for, but I mean, considering I can do it with hand, that's pretty smart, to be fair. That saves me a mither of snapping studs and moving them over, because I need to move some over anyway, because I think that one there is missing some. So I'm just going to take them all off and then that'll do. But yeah, all the cam buckets are in there, and yeah, we're getting closer now. Once that one's completely gutted, well, minus them, because I don't need the valves and springs and everything. Don't need them, they can stay in there. But once it's all gutted properly, then I can start screwing it all together. I can go back up here, and yeah. I feel like this episode or whatever is going to be a lot of little clips, but I mean, you know, you get the point, you get to see the build process. Another thing I wanted to show you, obviously I've done that head now, that's completely stripped to what I need, bar two little bolts that I've left in, just so I know where they come from, so when I bring that one down, I know where they come from. That's pretty much toast now up there, there's nothing I really need for that. So now I'm doing the sump. I've just put the new, I'm guessing, oil level sensor in, and I'm pretty glad that I actually bought a new one of these after looking at this and seeing that melted bit of plastic at the end there, because I have now realised after getting a new one that it's quite literally just a float in there. See the white? It's literally just a float. So I'm kind of glad now, because so what you can see melted there is obviously the float. So that was no good anyway. It would have just told me that the oil's at a certain level and never going down or never going up, which ain't good for what I'm trying to build here. It would have been round two again. So there we go. That's a lesson learned. If you're unsure, just get a new one. For the few quid that cost me, like, it saved all this if I'd have put it together thinking, oh, it's fine, it isn't fine. So I'm just glad now that we have a nice working sensor, and that's perfect. Also, wanted to do a little shout out, you know, just because I can. That little clip there is an absolute bugger to knock in. It was easy to push out, but a bugger to knock back in again. It's got to fit behind the actual sensor, well, the plug, should I say. So I had to use these nice little punches that got bought for me from a mate of mine. So you know who you are. Thank you very much, because I haven't, as you, well, I've got tools, but I haven't got everything. So yeah, thank you very much. Different day. Not sure what you last saw. But obviously to you it'll be 2 seconds. For me, it's been a few days. Can't remember if I've told you that they're together now. The sump's on, all sealed on. The oil pump housing is on. Yeah, water pump housing's on. Purely the reason why I've had a bit of a stall is because I needed to get a new crankshaft seal, which will be that one there. On the day of my last filming, I went to go and get it, but the roads were absolutely a complete car park, so I couldn't get it. So I had to get it the next day, 13 quid. So it's not bad, it's not good, it'll do on it. So the head is now together, which you probably see before this, because I'll attach some pictures of me putting all the springs in, the new top hats, the new cams, and tonight I've had to just take 2 of the valves out because they were leaking on a little test. I will put them pictures after this little clip just to show you, but quite simply, yeah, 2 were leaking on the inlet side. I've got to take them out, use my grinding paste and obviously this, or on the drill, either way, and grind the 2 valves back in again. But now that's all done again. I probably should have done that before putting the cams in, but we live and we learn, don't we? So I'm going to put the gaskets on now and bolt the head down now, and it's looking more like an engine. Quite simply better than that one. There you go, my lovely lot. That now there is back together. I haven't torqued them down. They're literally down, I'd say just a bit harder than finger tight. I've just literally spun the ratchet around till the ratchet has stopped. So there's no tension in that whatsoever. And the reason why I'm not doing that now is because I would rather have 2 people here. Me and somebody else, obviously. I know I'm probably being a bit over special, or whatever you want to call it. But basically these have got to be tightened down to 25 Newton meters. And then after that, I've got to do a following 3 lots of 90 degrees and then a final lot of 45 degrees. So I want that absolutely perfect. So I want 2 people here for that. Plus, there's no point really rushing it, is there? So I think for now, what videos are before this one and all the pictures and everything I've got for you, I'm probably going to give you this lot to watch, and then on the next lot of videos I'll be showing you all the little things that you've probably all seen, but whether I try and get like a speeded up video or something of me putting them back together again, because everything you'll see me do from now on is basically the same as you've seen me do before, but in reverse. So literally just bolting the normal things back on, all the pulleys, the tensioners, the belts, timing it, everything back on again that you've seen me take off. So I probably won't bore you and put you back through all that again, but I'll just sort of speed you up and show you quickly. And the next thing, probably in the next video, will probably be back in the car again. Fingers crossed anyway. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one, eh?